What you got back there? An ESP?
I got an ESP and I got a little old Jackson.
Jackson. Nice, nice. I just busted out my Les Paul Custom. I just put new strings on it and jammed it last night. Man, well, me and Tristan got together and recorded some new stuff. But
Well,
yeah.
we're dying to hear it, man.
Oh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to put it out.
Well, welcome to
Yeah,
the
we
Metal Institute of Thrashology. First, I want to introduce you. This is Justin. He's the lead singer from the killer band out of Connellsville, PA, the Lost Psychonaut. And they just released on May
yeah.
31st a killer album in violent outbursts and false accusations. So
Hell yeah, man.
tell us all about it. It's killer, man.
Well, thank you. I don't know. We just there's a collection of songs we took a few years to write and went into the studio, laid it down, and did the best job we could, basically.
Well, it was a damn good job. I'm really,
Thank you.
really curious though. Like, it seems like almost every song title plus the album title is catchy as hell. Like they're like these little like anecdotes that are just so catchy, and it kind of mirrors the catchiness of your riffs. So
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, man, killer album. I think my favorite off of it is "Death by Misadventure." Though I think
Yeah, that seems to be the song everybody digs for sure. That's what when I was playing demos for different friends of mine, like musicians and stuff. That's the one people are like, "Oh, I really like that song. That's got to be a video or a single or whatever."
yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, I can't argue with that."
That opening riff is such an earworm, man. Like it really has
Yeah,
just a nice hook to it, and it grabs your attention like right away. So
thank you. I always call it my ZZ Top riff because it has that like bluesy, you
yeah,
know, feel to it, almost like the Stones or ZZ Top or something like that, with like that heaviness behind it.
yeah.
I like it.
So like you kind of like me and Dave. He wanted to come here tonight, but he left for Ocean City this morning, so he's
Oh,
bummed out to
nice.
miss this. But we were talking this past week about how like you guys aren't metal, but you're not rock either. You kind of like
Yeah.
in and out of both of them so fluidly, and it has to. It reminds me of one of those bands like on the radio. Like you're very radio friendly and you have a good
Yeah.
radio sound, and it's so different than the crap on the radio today.
Oh, no doubt.
But I wondered, like, have you ever approached any of the radio stations about playing your stuff, or
No, not really. I mean, they do have. I don't know if BBE still does the homegrown thing like
yeah,
they used to, but I mean, that's an idea. We should do that and to
yeah?
throw some songs out,
I know the X
see if
used to
they'd
have
play
that
it.
too.
What was that?
The X used to have that homegrown
The
too.
X. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they would play it. If someone would listen to it. That's the hardest thing is just you know getting anybody to listen to the stuff.
I'm
That's the
telling you,
hard part.
I got nothing on my schedule tomorrow, so maybe I'll start calling radio stations and see what they're doing. Like I got nothing else
Yeah,
to
I
do.
hear you. That's what I got to start doing. I'll just call them a couple times a day with different voices and
Yeah.
different phone numbers.
Get your like mom to call, like, hey, we really want to hear it.
That's it, man. That's
So how
it.
how the distribution plan work out for Europe? The last time I talked to you, you guys
Oh
were
yeah,
talking to them.
uh we're still working on that with that label. We were supposed to have a few Zoom meetings that didn't materialize.
Yeah,
So the ball is in their court, so to speak.
sure.
So we'll find out. You
Well,
know?
I started meeting a bunch of dudes over in Europe from doing this channel thing,
Yeah.
and so like a couple of them are looking to come over here and tour. So I've been trying to
Oh,
help
no
them out.
kidding.
Yeah, like I've been helping them out, getting contacts with some of like the venues and stuff here locally.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'll like, pitch your stuff to them and tell them to check it out.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You book some shows too. Go over to the Shred Shed over there, man.
Yeah,
They're pretty open about booking.
are you going to the Descendants of Crom at all?
I'm not sure. I got to see the date. I would love to though. There's a lot of killer bands playing. That's going to be an awesome festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the guys I interviewed out of this band from Philadelphia called Thunderbird Divine, and
Yeah.
he put me in touch with, you probably know her, Shy,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah. I know Shy. Yeah.
I never met her or anything before. So I just started reaching out to her and doing a couple videos. Well, I did one video for her to just advertise the Ascendance of Chrome. So
Yeah, yeah. She's really cool. She's easy to work with, you know.
yeah, she said she wants to do like an interview with me maybe this week or next week.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll
Yeah,
mention to
cool.
her to reach out to
Yeah.
you and get some.
Oh, absolutely, man. I would
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, I would. So
Yeah.
what's been going on for Lost Psychonaut? You guys got any shows lined up?
We're not nothing's booked right now. We are writing because we've been banging these songs out for, I mean, we put the album out in May, but all the way leading up to that, we played shows. We've been playing these songs for like, I don't know, 2, 3 years or something. So it's time for new stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got about 10 new songs musically written. And then Tim has like 5 or 6 new ones. Garrett's got some new stuff. So we're just kind of demoing stuff now to get to where we can play new stuff live and start, throwing in a couple tunes with the last album material for when we do play live. But that's where we're at now. We're just writing new stuff. And if any gigs come up, we'll play them, but we're not actively booking, at least not the next couple months. We want to write, we want to get some new stuff together. So
So
we'll see what happens.
how is your writing process? Like, do you just write the music and Tim writes the lyrics, or does each member write like
Well,
their own part?
what we did um, pretty much is I write the music and then I'll go down to the factory, down to where we jam our practice spot with Tristan, our drummer, and we'll work like the arrangements out and everything and demo it. And then I'll go down there by myself and just hang out and listen to it and have a couple beers and just have my own one man party down there basically and just
Yeah.
listen to some tunes. And then I'll listen to our stuff until I start to get some kind of melody line or get some kind of lyric idea or whatever. And then I'll just start demoing stuff, vocally down there. That's how our last album came about. But for this one, because Tim, he came in, so we played with him before, but he dropped out for a while. He had some other stuff going on, and he wasn't around for the writing of the album. He wrote a couple of things on there that we used, but for probably 98% of the writing process, he wasn't around for.
Sure.
But for this one, he is. So he's been demoing stuff on his own and sending us emails and stuff like riffs and arrangements and stuff like that. He's got some killers. He's a great writer. I mean, I'm real excited for the next album because when he and I get together on like our old band, Reduced to Ash, we had some crazy material. It was like Mastodon meets Sabbath or something like that. It's like we wrote so well together. It's like I would do a riff, and then he's like, "I got something that'll go with that," and then he'd play a riff, and then I'm like, "Well, I got something that goes with that riff," and it was like we'd be going riff for riff for riff,
Yeah.
till the song was done, till we like ran out of time, basically. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for him to be in on this round of writing. So, but we're getting it to where, like last night, Tristan and I, we went through, I think it was 7 songs. I have like a little handheld Zoom recorder
Yeah.
that I'll use just like the preliminary jam sessions. And then once I listen to that, oh shit. Once I listen to that and then, maybe change some arrangements and stuff, and then we'll actually demo it with like like a 8-track digital recorder or whatever. We haven't graduated to the Pro Tools thing yet, because we're all like electronically, we're all boomers when it comes to that shit. So,
dude, I couldn't even send you an email, man.
like, yeah, dude, I know we're the worst with that. I mean, me personally, I'm like, I need to learn that stuff, but I don't know. I'm a caveman. You know what I mean? I do not like technology, man. I really don't.
Oh, I'm probably even worse than you. Like, and it's oddly enough that I started like this whole thing on like a computer and a phone that I don't know how to use. So like half the time I'm editing videos or like I have an idea, I have to get my kids who are like 10 and 12. And I'm like, hey, man, you're 10 years old, but how do you use this phone?
Yeah, I want to learn how to edit. I think that'd be such a great skill to have. And it's like, I know I could do it. I just have to like, I don't know, focus in on it or whatever. But
yeah. I guess you just really need to find someone to show you. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know. I'm just old school, I guess. I don't know. It was a big step when I got away from the 4-track recorder and I got like a Tascam digital thing. That was like, oh my God, mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and then you got the Pro Tools and everything. I have an interface for my computer, but I plugged my guitar into it once. So I know that it works, but that's about as far as I got with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I tell you what, though, as far as your writing process and the way you guys like gel and things, like it was obvious when we came out to see you at Helltown Brewery. You guys have a great chemistry in your band.
Oh, we've been jamming together forever, man. Me and Tristan and Garrett, and not only in this band for a while, but we've been in several bands together through the years. Like Garrett, our bass player, he played guitar in a band that I was in with him called Vulture. It was a sludge doom band in Pittsburgh in like the mid 2000, like, I don't know. We put an album out in like 2010, I want to say, something like that. And like the tail end of like 08, 9, 10, something like that, we played. Yeah. But we were in that band for a while, and
you got to let me hear that one time. I love sludge.
It's cool. It's on Spotify. It's called Vulture is the band name, and the album's called Oblivious to Ruin.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just do vocals. I didn't play guitar on it, but it's a different vocal than like I was screaming on that stuff. It was like I was getting as guttural and like brutal as I could because the music, it just seemed like it really called for that type of vocal, Yeah. And then we kind of quit jamming, and I didn't really want to sing like that anymore because I felt like once you get, I don't know, for me personally, I'm not saying for anybody else, but like once you get to a certain age, I feel like I felt kind of silly, like being on stage screaming at people. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, that's my own thing, but I don't know. I felt like it was time to sing again, like I used to.
I like your clean singing though, because it's not like an overly power metal or something like that.
No,
a little bit of grit to it, like a blue collar sound. And
for sure.
Yeah, so like it's not like you're Rod Stewart up there,
No. Yeah. I'm always going for like, I don't know, like a Skinnerdy, like down COC-ish style vocal, like a blues, but powerful and like melodic, there was some Alice in Chains in there. Lane Staley's one of my favorite singers of all time.
Yeah, he's great.
And I try to rip him off as much as possible.
Yeah. Who doesn't though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I just I think COC is a great corrosion conformity is a great way to like, describe your sound.
Yeah, I love those guys. I mean, we all do. The whole band's into those guys,
Yeah. I just started getting back into them. I haven't listened to them in like 10, 15 years probably. And I just started getting back into them and some Monster Magnet.
Oh, Monster Magnet, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those guys open for Iron Maiden back in it's like 99 at the uh Cleveland Nautica, that little amphitheater in
Yeah.
Cleveland. It
Yeah.
was Clutch, Monster Magnet, and Iron Maiden.
I bet you that was a great
It's such a
show.
weird bill, but it was awesome. Yeah, those guys kicked ass. I
You
kind of
go
heckled the singer a little bit. He threw a water bottle at me, but I was only like 18 years old or something.
Yeah. Are you going to see Maiden in November?
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Me and
sure. I saw that you went to see Megadeth. How was that show?
It was good. It was like classic Megadeth. Dave Mustaine was yelling.
Yeah.
He was yelling at the light people. The lights weren't
Oh,
right.
it's not a Megadeth show till Dave flips out on somebody in the crowd. Man.
It was a great show, and I've seen Megadeth. I think it's my second or third time, and it was great musically, but like it was just typical Dave. Just telling like,
Yeah.
if you don't shut that spotlight off, we're walking off the stage, and I'm like,
Yeah.
kind of kills the vibe a little bit, you know. But
How did his voice sound? I've seen some videos where he could, because he got that neck surgery. He said it messes with his vocal cords, like his ability to sing and stuff. But I was wondering how he sounded live now. I've seen some good performances from him and some that were kind of shaky.
he seemed
But
like I think he was complaining. He said they were having all types of, and it started with All That Remains opened up, and they actually played a short set because they were having difficulties with the drums and the lights. And
oh,
then,
really?
yeah, who was second? Megadeth. I don't remember who the second band was, but anyways, the second band was okay with it. And then when Dave got on stage, it was like everything was wrong. Their lights weren't right. Stage AE lights weren't right. The spotlights weren't on Timu, their new guitarist, enough.
Yeah. Dave ain't gonna let shit slide either, man. He's like
No,
right on.
and he sounded good. I mean, as good as Dave can sound. I mean, he's not,
Yeah.
but he sound like I thought he really he had a really good stage presence. The last time I saw him, he just kind of stood there. It was a poor turnout because it was a Penguins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a Penguins hockey night game.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Game 7 playoff game, and they had Exodus and Testament at another venue.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That would be a tough competition there, man, for all the thrash heads.
Yeah. And so I ended up, we went and they moved us up. And I remember like, it was just such a bad show. You could tell that Megadeth was like just get in, play and get out.
That sucks.
This one was
I
kind of
saw him at the Palace Theater in Greensburg when they did the Rust in Peace tour.
Oh, yeah.
The not the first one, but like the anniversary. It was like the 20th or 30th anniversary or something.
Yeah.
But probably it must have been the 20th.
Yeah.
But that was killer.
I think I was 91, maybe 94, somewhere else.
Yeah, that would have been the original.
Yeah.
I love Megadeth though. They're one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah. The only thing was like, we were talking about the playlist. I was really stoked. They put a lot of like older stuff on there too, like a lot of Symphony of Destruction, and then they had like a lot from. So what is it? So Far, So Good, So What?
Oh yeah, I love that record.
And then they had a couple deep cuts from like Washington Is Next, and you're just like, why pick those deep?
I
cuts?
saw where they were playing. They were playing Dread and Fugitive Mind off of The World Needs a Hero.
Yeah.
You know that album?
Yeah.
That was like a late early 2000s record they did after Risk.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got that Al Petrelli dude was playing guitar and Jimmy DeGrasso on drums. But that's a cool album. There's some good stuff on there. I mean, some of it kind of sucks, but for the most part, it's good.
The second band was Mudvayne. I remember now. It was
Mudvayne, yeah. My nephew loves those guys.
They put on a really good show. It was a really nice night. The whole night was just a great set, all three bands. But
that's awesome. There's nothing better than a killer metal show, man.
Yeah, there's three of us going down to Iron Maiden, me, Dave, and this dude Mike. So we'll probably meet,
Yeah.
reach out
Oh,
maybe.
I'll definitely be hitting that up, man. I haven't missed Maiden in a couple years.
Yeah,
There were a couple of tours. I saw that last tour was incredible, man. At the
PPG.
fucking yeah, PPG. That was awesome, man. They had the blow up uh
Yeah,
airplane coming down and shit.
yeah,
They had the best stage show. I've never seen Rammstein. I've never got into them. I've seen like clips of theirs where they do all the fire and shit,
yeah,
but it'd be pretty hard to beat Maiden, as far as the stage show goes.
yeah. We went to Judas Priest earlier this year, me and Dave, and it was a good show, but it's still not Maiden. Like they just don't.
Yeah. I like Priest, but I was way more into Maiden. That was my shit growing up, man. Like Queensryche, Iron Maiden, and Megadeth and Metallica were like, that's all I listened to from the age of 12 to like, I don't know, 15, 16. I started listening to like Dream Theater and shit like that and Rush and like more proggier stuff. And I started getting into heavier stuff, Pantera and all that stuff,
Yeah,
Sabbath,
we
all
had
that sort of thing.
we had a foreign. I went to Penn Hills, and we had a foreign exchange student who he was from Brazil. So when he first got there, we made friends, and I was into punk rock at the time. I was probably in like
Oh
10th.
yeah.
I was probably in like 10th grade. So he got me into like Sepultura and
Mm.
Angra and like
That
Kiko.
stuff's huge in South America, man. They love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, like here I am, And I listen to
Mm-hmm.
everything now except country.
Yeah, especially that pop country is just horrifically bad. It's horrific.
Yeah. Or
Horrific.
with Maiden coming, maybe you can open for them. See if they need an open.
Wouldn't that be the shit? Can you imagine that? Oh my god.
I'm sure stranger things have happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Reach out
You
to them.
got that
Say, like,
right.
hey, you need a local opener. I'm here.
I'm ready, man. I'll do it. I could die right after that show. I could get struck by lightning as soon as I leave the stage, and I'd be happy.
Yeah. I was reading where Exodus was playing with Iron Maiden, and they added one other song, and they knew it would go like 2 minutes over. So they went 2 minutes over their set time, and then Bruce ended up telling them, "You'll never play with us again." And they were like,
Oh my
"There's,
god,
we already did, like
we did it! Yeah, wow. You think Bruce would be cool with it because that's the less amount of time he has to sing. He could rest his voice a little bit.
yeah, yeah." But
But
I don't
that's the
know.
way it goes.
Yeah. So is that like where your influences come from? Mostly like Sabbath.
Oh, yeah, all that early stuff and Sabbath. I like a lot of the old blues guys too, like BB King. My dad used to listen to him a good bit when I was growing up, and Albert King, that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. Cadillac Assembly Line. I want to cover that song. I would love to record it. That's a badass tune.
My dad
But
collected 45s when I was growing up, and he sold them all. He had like 9,000, but
oh wow,
they were all like doo wop and old blues, like John
yeah,
Walker, Elmore James, like that kind of
that
stuff.
stuff's so good, man. It's like I love the old recordings just to hear like the fact they played all that stuff live in a room together as a band.
Yeah,
And it just has a magic to it. It's
yeah,
so badass. It's not just files; they're emailing each other, and people are sitting in their room by themselves recording. You know what I mean? Like they're all in a room together jamming, and that's what it sounded like.
yeah. It's hard to
That's
capture
how we
that
did
magic.
our album, man. We all got in the room together at the studio and did all the drum tracks like that. They're all live takes from start to finish. There's no punch ins or overdubs or any of that shit as far as the drums go. Everything else we went back through and recorded.
Sure.
But we want to do the next album, we want to do it like as much live as possible. We want to try to do it down at our space, just get like the basic tracks captured and then have someone else like mix it and make it sound good, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But we want to get like a really good vibe with the next one, like a real live, like you're sitting in the room with us type of vibe, you know?
And I think too, like having that bluesy influence in your music lends it to have that like comfortability.
Yeah, it's got to be like that. You know, I don't think it would come across right otherwise. You know what I mean? Like if it had, I don't know, what the fuck do I know? But it might be stiff or something. You know what I mean? If you got the click track going and everybody's freaking out about playing it exactly right, you know? But
Yeah,
I don't know. What do
I
I
think
know?
that's you could just it's like when we saw you guys live, and I go back to saying you guys had a good chemistry. You can see it and it like
Yeah.
translate in the music. If you guys don't have a good chemistry, it's not going to have any soul.
No, I'm glad that, you know, I'm glad that comes through. I mean, because it's true. You know what I mean? Like we've all grown up together. We're all four of us are best friends. We've been through so much shit together, and I'm glad it kind of comes through the music. Like we did a podcast a while back where the guy was saying that he felt like it sounded like we had been together for like 20 years or some shit. And it's like we basically have, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I'm really proud of with the guys in the band is we have stuck together for so long, even if it's been in different bands. Like I think Lost Psychonaut, I think we put that first album out. It was right during the pandemic. It was like right before everything got shut down. So that was like 2020?
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, it was like February of 2020.
Yep.
Everything got shut down in March.
Yep.
So that was the beginning of this band. But even before that, like I was saying, we jammed in bands together before that, you know.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think it, like you said, it comes across, and
yeah, I'm glad.
It really gives it the music soul. And I think your average listener is not going to catch that. But as many times as
Probably not. Yeah.
like me and Dave dissect music, and like we were driving to Megadeth talking about your album, and he was blasting it, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's telling me about like, oh, I think this one riff is reminiscent of such and such, and I'm like, no, that's Sabbath, dude, Sabbath all day.
I love it.
You know, but you have to argue with your friends. But
well, I think that's one thing that separates like metalheads from other people that are into like pop or country or whatever is just as hard as metalheads dive into the music and can tell you this riff comes from that song from here over here, or this Maiden song has the same chord progression as this other Maiden song from 5 albums ago. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like metalheads dissect their music a lot more than anybody else. I mean, maybe.
I dissect. I listen to music honestly from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And I feel bad because my wife likes absolute silence.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like, you know, we're sitting down to dinner and I'm putting like Exodus Bonded by Blood on for like candlelit dinner, you know.
That's awesome. We always have the radio on in the kitchen, but it's usually on like 3WS or something like that, and I'll put DVE on, and then it migrates back over to something else. But the kids love music. My 2 girls love music. They're always singing stuff. My youngest is 3. She'll be 4 in December, and she's just gotten into Frozen. So she's singing. She's walking around singing those Frozen songs all the time now. It's so funny.
I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. My 10-year-old acts professionally in musicals, like at the Benedum and the Byham.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah, wow. So like she did like Christmas Carol and some other musicals, and then my other daughter does ballet, so we get a steady diet of classical music too, and so like I listen to classic from basically from this Saturday that just passed until January will be nothing but like Nutcracker and classical from them.
Yeah.
So it's
There's
nice.
a lot of crossover in metal and classical music. I mean,
Yeah,
you wouldn't maybe think so, but you know, all those neoclassical dudes like Ingve and
yeah.
fucking Marty Friedman, which I don't know if he would be considered neoclassical, but
He plays
he's
K-pop
still,
or
yeah,
J-pop. K-pop.
yeah, he does. He does. That's crazy, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, I think there's some similarity there for sure, just in the darkness of some of the, some of the music.
I just started talking to some surf metal band, and
Oh, nice.
we were looking at the similarities, me and Dave, this past week between this band's surf style and black metal. How it's basically like it's basically the same riffs, which is different.
Yeah.
Like it's so strange to me that Dick Dale surf rock is black metal with just
Yeah, well, the picking is crazy, man. Some of like that Dick Dale stuff, I can't pick like that.
Yeah.
That dude's like, he's flying, man.
And he was doing it like 160 years old, and he's still playing.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Pulp Fiction style.
Yeah, we'll have to get together and jam one day too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Come down to the jam room.
I'll let you and Dave jam. I'll sit over in the corner and play scales or something. I'm not very good, but at least
you guys should come down to the practice room sometime, man. It's like we have it set up so cool down there. We got like a control room with recording stuff that we don't know how to use, and then and our jam room, and we got like a lounge outside of it and stuff. It's like I could live down there. If I ever get thrown out, I'm just gonna move down to the practice room.
I might hit you.
I'll just live down here.
I might hit you up when my wife throws me out. At least I'll have somewhere to stay.
We'll just hang out down there, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Write some metal. Maybe we'll figure out how to use that recording gear.
Yeah, with like 6 or 7 of us, I'm sure we can figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm psyched though. I'm psyched to get the new stuff out, man. It's really cool. I'm really excited. It's my favorite part of being in a band is the writing aspect. Just that excitement of just coming up with a riff, having it on your phone, and then bringing it down to the guys down at the jam room and making it into something. It's like magic to me,
Yeah.
It's like you're creating something out of silence, It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then if people actually like it, that's a whole other thing.
Well, I tell you what.
Fortunately for us, some people do.
Your album, even being a sophomore, because I know everybody says a sophomore slump, but
yeah,
I think Violent Outbursts and False Accusations was a huge step up from your earlier album.
Oh, not
that was a pushover album, but I think I think there is like your album is non-skippable. Like every song on there is a player. Whereas even with Megadeth, I'm like, all right, that's enough, Dave, But
yeah, there's some I know what you mean. There's a couple tunes I'll go like in the later albums,
But you can tell on your album, like you chewed off all the fat. It's all killer, no filler. Like you didn't just put shit in there to extend the album another 10 minutes.
No, we tried cutting stuff down on the songs. Like I would see the time at the end and be like, okay, what can I cut out of this? Because on the first album, I'd have a tendency to maybe play some stuff too long, or it didn't necessarily need to go 8 times through, or it could be 4, get your point across type of thing. So we definitely tried to edit things down a little more to make it more, song friendly, I guess you could say.
But I think like just that comes with you getting a little bit more comfortable in your writing process, probably with experience.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I'm telling you what, man, me and Dave are both stoked to see like what comes from this next one and like where Lost Lake is going.
I'm psyched, man.